Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into something that's reshaping how European enterprises handle customer service. We're talking about AI agents and voice technology, specifically how organizations in Den Haag and across the Netherlands are moving way beyond simple chatbots. Sam, this feels like a pretty seismic shift in how businesses interact with customers, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and what's interesting is the timing. We're looking at 2026 as this inflection point where 75% of enterprise contact centers are projected to deploy agent-based AI systems. That's not gradual evolution. That's a fundamental reimagining of customer service infrastructure. The old chatbot model is basically dead.
Right, so help our listeners understand what we mean by dead. What's actually broken about traditional chatbots that makes them obsolete?
The core problem is they're reactive, not autonomous. A customer asks a question, the chatbot retrieves an answer, and that's it. Or it escalates to a human. No real problem solving. You get 40 to 60% escalation rates in typical implementations, which means the system isn't actually solving customer issues. It's just a traffic cop routing people elsewhere.
So it's not really handling the work. It's just deciding whether you're qualified to talk to a human. That sounds frustrating from a customer perspective. What does a modern AI agent actually do differently?
Everything, really. A true AI agent perceives context, reasons about what the customer actually needs, executes actions independently, like processing returns or updating orders, and adapts based on outcomes. An etherbot implementation in Den Haag can review your entire order history, check inventory, process a refund, and recommend something personalized, all without routing you to a human. That's autonomous problem solving.
Okay, so this is genuinely different architecture. The agent has reasoning capabilities and can actually take action in your business systems. What kind of financial impact are we talking about here?
McKinsey's 2026 data shows organizations deploying autonomous agents see 35 to 45% reduction in customer service costs and 28% improvement in resolution speed. For European companies, you also have to factor in EU AI Act compliance requirements, so there's additional oversight and explainability needed. But even with those constraints, ROI is still compelling.
So you're not losing money on compliance. You're just accepting slightly smaller margins in exchange for legal security and customer trust. Now let's talk voice, because that seems to be a big part of this transformation.
Voice is actually where the biggest opportunity sits, because it's currently the highest friction channel. You call customer service, wait in queues, listen to hold music, repeat yourself, and half the time you're so frustrated you just hang up. Voice agents powered by advanced speech recognition and real-time reasoning eliminate all that friction.
And I assume accuracy in noisy environments is way better now than it was 5 years ago?
Exactly. Modern systems can handle background noise, multiple accents, and interruptions that would have confused earlier generations completely. Gartner projects voice-first service becomes the default for 60% of enterprise support interactions by 2027. That's not theoretical, it's happening now.
For Den Haag specifically, I imagine multilingual capability is a huge selling point. You've got Dutch, English, German, French speakers all coming through the same systems, right?
Exactly. A single AI voice agent can handle all those languages seamlessly, detecting which language a customer is using and switching context instantly. For multinational companies in the Netherlands, that's a massive operational advantage. No more language-specific call centers or routing complexity.
So you're collapsing what used to be 4 separate support functions into one intelligent system. That's where the 35 to 45% cost reduction starts to make sense. But beyond the financial case, what are the practical implementation challenges enterprises face when they're actually building these systems?
The biggest one is integration. These agents need to connect to your CRM, your inventory system, your payment processing, your order management, sometimes a dozen systems that were never designed to talk to each other. Second challenge is data quality and governance. If your training data is biased or incomplete, your agent learns those problems at scale.
And then on top of that, you've got EU AI Act requirements. That's not something you can bolt on at the end, is it?
No, it has to be built in from day one. You need explainability. The system has to explain why it made a decision. You need human oversight for high-stakes interactions. You need audit trails. You need transparency about how the system uses personal data. For enterprises in Den Haag specifically, non-compliance means regulatory fines and reputational damage, so this isn't optional.
When you think about rolling this out, let's say you're a mid-market company in the Netherlands with a 50-person customer service team. What does the actual implementation timeline look like?
Realistically, you're looking at 6 to 9 months for a proper deployment. Months 1 and 2 are discovery and system mapping, understanding your current workflows and data architecture. Months 2 to 4 are training the agent, running pilots with a subset of your customer base. Months 5 to 7 are scaling up, testing edge cases, handling the inevitable failures. Months 8 to 9 are rollout and monitoring.
And you'd probably start with one channel, maybe voice for inbound support before you expand to chat or social media?
That's the smart approach. Start with your highest volume, most standardized interactions. Voice support for order status inquiries and simple troubleshooting is a perfect entry point. You build confidence, you learn where the system needs improvement, and then you expand to more complex scenarios.
What about change management? Your customer service team just saw their job description fundamentally change. How do you handle that transition?
That's the human dimension that often gets overlooked in ROI calculations. You're not eliminating jobs, you're changing what those jobs are. Your agents shift from handling routine inquiries to managing escalations, coaching the AI when it gets stuck, and handling the complex cases that actually need human judgment. You need training, you need clear communication about what's changing and why, and you need to make people feel like this is evolution, not replacement.
Because if your best customer service reps feel threatened, they're going to leave, and then you've lost institutional knowledge and customer relationships.
Exactly. The organizations that execute this well treat it as a reskilling opportunity. Your experienced agents become quality coaches. They train the AI. They handle the customers nobody else can solve for. And frankly, that's more intellectually interesting work than answering the same password reset question 50 times a day.
So from a pure business perspective, what's the strongest case for a company to move on this in 2025 or 2026?
3 things. First, competitive advantage. Your competitors are absolutely moving on this, and if you're not, you'll be handling customer interactions 28% slower while spending 40% more on labor. Second, talent availability. Customer service roles are notoriously hard to fill and expensive to train. AI agents solve that problem. Third, customer expectations. People expect to be able to get help instantly in their language without jumping through hoops. AI agents deliver that.
And for Den Haag companies specifically, there's probably a regulatory advantage to moving early and getting compliant before enforcement really tightens up?
Absolutely. EU AI Act compliance is going to get stricter as we move through 2025 and 2026. Companies that implement their systems now with compliance baked in will be ahead of the curve. They'll have proven audit trails, transparent decision-making, and human oversight frameworks that newer entrants will have to scramble to build.
Sam, if someone's listening to this and thinking, okay, I want to move forward, but I don't even know where to start, what's the first step?
Start with an honest audit of your current state. What percentage of your customer interactions are routine and could be automated? What systems do you actually have connected? Who are your customers, and what languages do they speak? Once you answer those questions, you can scope a pilot program, usually a single support channel, maybe 10 to 15% of your volume. That gives you data to build a business case for scaling.
And you'd want to be thinking about this as a strategic initiative, not just a cost-cutting measure?
Completely. Yes, you'll save money, but the real value is the customer experience improvement and the operational flexibility you gain. You can handle traffic spikes. You can serve multilingual customers. You can offer 24/7 support without doubling your headcount. That's transformational stuff.
This has been really insightful. Sam, thanks for breaking down everything from the technical architecture to the change management piece. For our listeners who want to go deeper into implementation guides, case studies, and specific ROI benchmarks for their industry, you can find the full article on EtherLink AI. There's a ton of detail in there about the EU AI Act compliance framework and real-world examples from enterprises in Den Haag that are already seeing these results. Until next time, this is EtherLink AI Insights. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Alex. Great discussion. Listeners, if you're in customer service or operations leadership, definitely check out that full post. And if you have questions about how to approach this at your organization, the EtherLink team is there to help you navigate it.